Hey, Dr. Bill here. Okay, yesterday was an epic Dorfman Day. My daughter kicked off her tour. She's opening for Jesse McCartney in 24 cities across the United States. Last night, she killed it in DC. You can go on her Instagram and see it. It's at Anna, A-N-A, Sky, S-K-Y. And she was phenomenal.
You're not getting till you're getting with me. You're not living till you're living with me.
On top of that, Dad, Dr. Bill, finally got the official cover of Men's Health Mexico. So at 67 years old, I think I will get another Guinness World Book record for being the oldest shirtless cover model for Men's Health magazine. And if not, we're going to throw in dentist and say oldest dentist cover for Men's Health magazine. But I will get another Guinness World Book record. What do we teach at LEAP? LEAP is an entrepreneurship program for high school and college students aged 15 to 25 that we have taught at UCLA for the last 16 years. What do we teach? We teach students skills to be successful in life. And the coolest thing about LEAP is that I've asked so many of my celebrity patients and business leaders to come and help, and they do. We've had Mark Wahlberg, Paula Abdul, Michael Strahan, Kathy Bates, Anthony Hopkins, Apollo Ono, Eric Garcetti, Jason Alexander. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And these people come and share the secrets of their success with our LEAP students. Typically, we get about 500 to 550 students every summer, and we literally pack them with so much information. It's like drinking from a fire hose. And one of the parts that the students love most is when we bring in these mentors. So we started this Meet the Mentor series because we didn't want this to just be a one and done week. We wanted to do it throughout the year and continue to give these students great information from great mentors to teach them how to do businesses in every field you could ever imagine. This will be our 19th year. We'll be back at UCLA. We had to take a 2-year hiatus because the Olympics are happening and they had to rebuild our area. We will be July 12th to the 18th. If you're a student who's watching this, sign up now. If you're a parent who's watching this, sign your student up now because we will sell out this year. It's going to be big. We'll have 400 students from all over the world. And we literally teach these kids skills you just don't learn in school that you absolutely need to be successful in life. And for sure, we get Paula Abdul back every year. I think we'll get Amy Adams this year. Anthony Hopkins is going to be in town, and a few other surprises. So today's mentor is a friend and somebody that I'm working with quite intimately right now. Livia Tortella is the founder and CEO of Black Box, a music entertainment executive with a track record for artist development. That's why she's working with Anna. Livia has taken her career from PolyGram Canada to Island Def Jam Music Group, to Atlantic Records, and then to co-president of Warner Brothers Records in Los Angeles, California. Known for her expertise in music marketing, content creation, executive production of motion picture soundtracks, and corporate strategy, Livia has an intimate understanding of all aspects of the music industry. She's worked closely with chart toppers and breaking artists alike, and is constantly searching for new ways to build and engage their audiences. It is her commitment to the artist's career combined with her belief in new music and the economy that led her to create Black Box, and we'll find out a little bit about that. Livia, thank you for being here. And let's start off at the beginning. Yeah. Here you are in Canada. What was your relationship with music?
As a fan, I was listening to it constantly. I remember having like my bedroom filled with vinyl and my mother telling me, "What are you going to do with this?" And I had no idea the music industry existed. It was one of those, like, back in those days, it was very much shrouded in a lot of secrecy, right? Now
Right.
everything's so transparent. People have a really good idea what the music business is about, but then it was very much kind of shrouded in a lot of mystery.
And so you wanted to be a singer-songwriter?
No.
No.
I cannot sing a note.
I know,
Don't
right?
ask me.
So you went through college, and
Yeah.
then you ended up at PolyGram Records. How did that happen?
So before that happened, I'm a communications major, and I think that really helped me understand the new music business really well. So I'm really happy about choosing that path because I learned about audio mixing, I learned about video editing, I learned basically about media. And I think that factored in really well when I started to go into music.
So how did you end up at PolyGram, though?
First, I got the job by answering an ad because I minored in journalism at my school, and they had an ad for, do you like writing? Which writing is I love to write. Do you love music? I'm like, check, check, and I applied. And I wrote press releases. I worked in the press department when I first started.
Your career there skyrocketed, like exponentially. How did all that happen?
Well, I worked really hard, like really hard when I got that job. I didn't know any other way, right? It was very, I'm a child of an immigrant, so we work, you know? So I got that job and people were just very blown away by what I put into it, you know, and opportunities came. And then I got the opportunity to move to New York because I impressed the chairman at the time who ended up getting a job in New York.
So you started kind of in the mailroom, right? And
Yes.
worked your way up. And by the time you left, what was your position?
I was a project manager.
And what do project managers do for people that aren't in the music industry and don't
project
know?
managers do everything with the exception of making the music or the creative. So basically we coordinate production schedules, tour schedules, we come up with social media marketing strategies, we help coordinate the artwork that happens around a project. So pretty much we're the linchpin on anything having to do with releasing music.
And you were at PolyGram for how many years?
So PolyGram got bought by Universal, right? So I started there in '89, and we got bought in '99. So I was there for 11 years before it became Universal. And then I went to New York for Island Def Jam, which was part of the Universal family, and left to join Warner Brothers in 2004. So if you really think about it, I've been there from '89 to 2004.
Wow.
It's a long time at Universal.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
And along the way, you had the opportunity to work with Bruno Mars.
Yes. A lot of great artists.
Yeah.
Bruno
so
being one of them.
what
Yep.
was it about Bruno Mars that really stuck out for you and made you feel like this was somebody that could be much bigger than, than
Yeah.
he was when he started?
I love talking about him because that's a classic artist development story. Because when we met Bruno,
Let's hear it.
yeah, he was just signed to Warner Chappell. He was a writer and a very good writer. And at the time, my bosses, Julie Greenwald and Lear Cohen, signed him to Atlantic. And it was being marketed through Elektra and Fueled by Ramen, which was handled by John Janik, who's now the current CEO of Interscope. So, but his strength was as a writer. He wrote great songs, and their idea was to get those songs placed with established artists. Therefore, but asking for the collaboration tag on the video. So Bruno would give a song and said, I'll give you a song if you tag me in the video and if I'm able to be in the video. So through the strength of his songs, he was able to be attached to really big records at the very beginning. And his star power is so obvious that people just needed to look at him and and that's how it started. And the fact that he had his 10,000 hours as a wedding band performer made him really good on stage, to the point where he converted really, really quickly.
Yeah.
So great songs, star power, great performer. But I mean, he started at the beginning with us.
Right.
Yeah.
So on a personal note,
Yeah.
I have had a patient in my practice who is also a friend for over 30 years named Jeff Aldrich. And Jeff has been in the music industry. And when Anna's career started to grow, I said, Jeff, I need you to really find me the best person to help develop my daughter. And that's Livia. So
That's nice of him.
Tell me what it is you kind of envision doing. I mean, I know because I'm involved on the team and I listen.
Sure.
I'm kind of the dadinger. But let's talk about Anna's development and where we are and where we're going. And also, she's the one that's responsible for introducing us to Jesse McCartney's team and putting Anna on tour. So, this whole thing about needing 10,000 hours to perfect your craft, this is where it's coming from.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it always starts with, do we love the music? Are we compelled by the artist? Because if the music if we're not excited by the music, I'm not the right person, right, to jump in. So, we heard Anna's voice.
With your arms like an angel through the castle roof. I don't want to call it off. You don't want to call it off.
And we knew that the music and her persona was developing in a certain way. Like there's a whole genre of like dark, sad pop. I think Anna elevates that though, but it's a good place to start, right? Is to sort of hit that young female audience that really leans into this music. So it kind of starts with the artist, with the music, with the personality. And as you remember, we started off Anna like we do every one of our artists at Black Box with a 2 to 3 hour interview. But it's not like media training. It's nothing like that. It's not about outside media. It's more about who are you, why are you doing this, and how are you going to connect on social media with your audience, with your fans.
Right.
And we always go for authenticity. And that's what makes every artist that we work very unique. So we really dived into what's unique about Anna, and we were kind of talking about this earlier with her first night yesterday with Jesse McCartney. She really talked about her narrative, and she talked about what makes her special, right? Like she was a scientist, and always had the dream to be a performer. So my heart swelled. I was so excited because that's what's going to make fans lean into her talking about those things, right? So it always starts with that authentic story, and then we start to talk about partners, like where on Spotify do we start this? Where on Apple do we start this? Who do we have within our network, like a Jesse McCartney, that an artist could sort of, get exposed to a new audience? And then we start putting the pieces together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So from Universal, you went to Warner, right?
Yes, I went to Warner, yep.
Yeah, and you had a pretty impressive title there.
Yeah, so became GM of Atlantic Records. That was my first job within the Warner family. And then Leor Cohen promoted me to co-president of Warner Brothers here in LA.
Tell me about your experience at Warner Brothers.
It was interesting because it was very defining. I worked with some of the biggest artists in the world, from like Michael Bublé to Red Hot Chili Peppers to like everyone. I mean, Warner Brothers is a beautiful flagship label with some of the best artists. But I also, again, the calling of artist development and really breaking new artists, like I was happy to say when I was there that I was able to break Gary Clark Jr., who was a brand new artist at the time, and Lenny Waronker signed him, you know what I mean? And it was great, you know what I mean, to be able to do that. But the calling of really working with developing artists and really thinking about authentic narrative and brand-centric strategies kind of was calling for me. I thought I really want to be able to focus on a few things and really devote time. And what I noticed is at record labels, that's very hard to do because you have a lot of artists, and you're like running through one, getting to another. And I learned a lot about operational, skills, being able to prioritize. I learned all of that, but I really missed the kind of attention that you get when you just focus on one artist at a time.
Well, and thus the birth of Black Box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So tell me what differentiates Black Box from other agencies.
We don't do one thing. I think when you look at agencies, they either do social media marketing or, they do creative and stuff like that. We felt there was a need for an agency that touched on a little bit of everything: release planning, creative, all of that stuff. Like the project management piece is what I learned to do my whole life. You know what I mean? I think there's a need for that. And there's going to be a need for artists getting their own project managers, even though they're signed to a major label, because of the volume problem, right? So I think what makes us different is that we have a very narrative driven strategy. We look at every artist as unique, and we implement a plan with a lot of different spokes to it. Like we include a lot in it.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So if I'm a young student and I'm interested in getting into the music industry and kind of emulating a career like yours, what kind of advice would you give me?
Okay, is this where I look at the camera and give you
Yeah,
advice? All right,
right
good.
in there.
All right, so first thing, work incredibly hard. I feel like I'm amazed. I work with a lot of young people, and sometimes I'm amazed from the lack of work ethic. It really starts with that. I think too, the second part is not to get ahead of yourself, really to be in the moment of whatever job you have. Because I've noticed this a lot where, everyone's thinking like, okay, who's the person with the title? Who do I need to impress? But bottom line is, if you're impressing the person next to you, your reputation will travel. And that's what always happened to me. Because I was very, I'm going to take a side thing. I was very shy when I was coming up in the business. And I always ask myself, how did I do that without the gift of the gab? And that's just by doing a really great job and really working well with others and people noticing, right? How great I was. So I think that that's really important. Be excited about the job, do the job well. And the third thing is internships. You know what I mean? Like really do the research, figure out the companies that you're excited about, and keep going after it until you get that internship. Learn, and then again apply what I just said, like working hard and doing a great job and working within a team. So those are the three things that I would stress.
Where would somebody even find an internship?
Well, there's a platform called Handshake where you can go in there if you're a student and really apply. Every record label website has an area on their website that you can contact them for internships. Every single one of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
They're always looking. Yeah.
Great. And if students have questions and want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do it?
Email me. Livia@blackbox.la. And I was going to say on internships, always contact Blackbox. We always respond.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Livia,
Yeah.
thank you so much. And
Thank
you
you
for what you're doing for Anna. I literally watched the video last night from the videographer with like tears in my eyes the whole time. I was the proudest papa in the world. And you had a really big part in it. So
yeah, and you're the best dad.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Bill, over and out.